situation. We are sure Morocco, Upa Ja AFCON man 10 years, we host. Ja AFCON man 10 years, we host. Uganda, Tanzania, Kenya, they are preparing. Yeah. I decided to see once a while, be perceived be a country being here. Cote d'Ivoire, no more than ready to host even the World Cup. I didn't know. I was 24 years into my hosting a year, and as a first, I prepare more than CBT hosting common AFCON. I don't know, sir. Oh, just manipulation goes to my dead be a bro for the person on black acid. Maybe be a young and shadows. Yen diminish, maybe be a young person here. There'll be an answer. So I say, the African yen schedules need different from white internet. And I say, they are not feeling comfortable. They be opposite show massive, no more than in pay. Which, because they are full continent on our own. We are independent. So I think they look at someone now, they be a month, say, soon, I'm winning 4 years meaningful. Then I'm saying, some missing now, say in 2 years. And you are we have for 2 years, 2 years. That's how my players in the break, because 2 years survivable, another 4 years survivable. What Kabeba? Oh, that's our players in the break. More players in Brenna, any players in Brenna. Oh, no, sir. But no credit, my main cousin, Victor Valdez wrong. Or the trophies by Barcelona, but then one guy said we are by the changing, and as I say, museums can I say the turning point for Barcelona. Because then that's also we are giving now 5 points blank fees. And any goalkeeper will say that I say yes, with difference the winning championship. Yeah. And our good goalkeeper, they are my Real Madrid, they stay consistent for about 5-6 years.
That's true.
So I say, and I said, and then I'm sure so she says, Bassa crabble, and I say, Bassa defending, as a ball, try to defend the scrum part. At least no about some 60-70% assurance about because no goalkeeper or the boy very reliable. No disrespect to Serge, you need test again, but then under any the boy better saying and not test again.
Okay.
So I say, but one guy said very good. And see one sign, I mean, believe him, Deku signings, but then Sa signing will require the Metucha Madeku.
I see.
He was spot on because last year, no other Spaniel. He was the best goalkeeper in the league. He saves me very serious. The Barcelona, I had the power with this signing. Yambo Price, the whole inch. Now, okay. Maybe a bear fine.
Wonderful. Michael, thank you so much. Interesting point on Juan Garcia, Barcelona goalkeeper. Let me take this final caller and then we proceed. Hello.
Hello, Nathan. Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Osman.
All right, Osman, please go ahead. Where are you calling from?
So too.
All right, please go ahead.
Okay. With regards to the African Cup of Nations, now being going to 4 years.
Yes.
Sometimes we should understand certain things. One, if we ask our players, especially those playing their trades outside, are they comfortable playing the Cup of Nations every 2 years in the middle of the season? They will tell you they are not. We've seen instances where they come back from Cup of Nations and they've lost their position to somebody else. Fine, we are Africa. We want to do what fits us. But going forward, we've seen instances where we've given host right to countries and then the last minute it was taken to other countries. I think a 4-year period is enough for anybody to prepare to host the Cup of Nations. 2 years is not enough. We saw in Zimbabwe when they were stripped of the hosting rights and was given to Ghana and Nigeria in 2000. We've seen with Equatorial Guinea and Gabon. So please, we want our Cup of Nations for 2 years, but in the circumstance we find ourselves, can we play every Cup of Nations in Morocco? We should give other countries the opportunities too. Okay. So 4 years, I think, is very, very enough. And then the Nations League will also help us, because during international break, we find it very difficult to get high-profile friendly matches.
Okay.
Because Europe is playing their Nations League.
Yeah.
Now North America is also playing their Nations League. So you have to travel all the way to Asia. And we know the journey, 16 hours, 18 hours. So it's a good idea Mr. Musefe is bringing. Let's all support. He's not succumbing to anybody. Even if he is doing it, it's for our own good. 4 years now we're training for Cup of Nations. The excitement itself. We only have a Cup of Nations this year. Yes, next year we are playing another Cup of Nations. No, please, let's structure everything very well.
Okay.
4 years in between the World Cups is good, and then during that period we can play our Nations League.
Okay.
Merry Christmas in advance to you and your team. Have a good morning.
Merry Christmas to you, to husband. Thank you so much. 8 o'clock on the dot. Let's pause the calls for now. But your comments are welcome. 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. Let me read a bit. Okay, my producer says we should take one final call and then we will proceed. I'll read a bit concerning the AFCON and then we'll talk about the Ghana Premier League. Immortal, I'm sure we'll talk to Michael Asaibuedu a little later. Yes, we'll get there. Yes, hello.
I don't know why people are attacking me.
What is the matter?
Yeah, you can come and talk, sir. If I talk, you say I'm talking plenty.
It's all right. I don't
understand.
So that's why
you come and make your salvation and go. If I'm talking about United, who are only saying? Talk about your matter. You come and talk plenty. If I'm talking, then you say someone is talking plenty. But you come and stay on the line more than 5 minutes.
So Emmanuel, so that's why you call.
The call line, the Sporting is for all of us. It's not for only one person. So when someone is talking, allow the person, let the person feel free and talk his mind.
Okay, all right, Emmanuel. Thank you so much.
The 4 years, the perfect time.
Okay.
No one can say anything that will take it. We say we do for you.
All right. Okay, let's start off with the Ghana Premier League. I'm sure when the guys come on, we'll dive a bit into the AFCON. But the big story is that the AFCON will be played from 4 years, from 2020. So there's an AFCON 2027. They'll play another one 2028, and then 2032, 36, and it goes on and on and on and on from there. I don't think it will be in the same year as the World Cup. I doubt. I don't think so, because World Cup 2026, 2030, so an AFCON 2032. Okay, so 2 years after the World Cup. Yeah, 2 years interval after the World Cup. Wonderful. Very wonderful. Anyway, I'll go to some of your WhatsApp comments. Please keep them coming. 054-257-1061. Or let me just read a couple of WhatsApp messages and then we proceed. This one says, Priest from Akati Hill says, can we swap Gyökeres for Sheshko? No, you can't. Kobe Baden, yes, yesterday I ran into Kobe Baden yesterday at the Dansoman Ecobank. Kobe, how are you doing? I hope you are well. This one says, very disappointing as a fan of Man United and Hearts of Oak. Hearts played well. I was expecting them to win. As for Amorim, the transfer rumor shows he's not looking for a number 8. He's comfortable with Bruno in that position. So he should allow Menu to go where he will be useful. All right. Okay, let's go through some of the other messages quickly. Alrighty. 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. Let's get into the Ghana Premier League. And it was a very interesting weekend. Coach Sefa is here. Coach, good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm good.
Wonderful. Let me go through the results. We start off with the one that you predicted. And I can't believe it actually happened. Aduana 0, Hearts 0. Dreams 3, Brekum Chelsea 1. Hoho United 0, Gold Stars 1. Karela 1, Vision 0. Nations FC 1, Young Apostle 0. Summertex 1, Heart of Lions 0. Bechem United 2, Swedru All Blacks 0. And there's a game today involving Mediama and Holy Stars, and then on Wednesday is 11 Wonders welcoming Asante Kotoko. Coach, let's start off with the game at Doma. You did say that it was going to be very difficult and that Hearts were likely to get a point from the game. You didn't trust Ediana to finish the job. You said Hearts could get something. How did it play out? How did Hearts get a point? Or how did Ediana drop 2 points at home? Somebody says that's another way of looking at it.
Well, I must say it's the mentality of the Hasselhoff players that got them that point. And I also believe that they should have won the game at least by 2-0. Because they created all the chances. At least 4 clear chances that I felt that they could have scored 2 out of the 4. Adriana barely had a clear opportunity. They had 2, but Solomon Agbashi came to the party. Solomon Agbashi, the star boy. And for me, I think that as a folk, give credit to Didi Dramani, his game plan worked.
What was the plan?
Sporty FM.
We don't allow them to score us. If they don't score us, when you get the opportunity, make sure that we take good care of it. And as a folk, Melford has been porous in their last 2 games, but this time, Skaka Krabai. But I was looking at that angle because the players were not complaining about training fatigue. They were not complaining about any other thing, but solely their salaries, and because they are paid everything for themselves and all that, so they need to, and pressure is coming from home and elsewhere. So the moment 2 months were paid and 2 bonuses arrears too were paid, so management have done the year, so go and do yours. So I spoke to one of the players and he was telling me that, coach, you may share home. And monitoring the training of Hasselhoff, I realized that the players were very serious. Hasselhoff doesn't have a bench that to change a game. If they do have bench, they would have won the game hands down.
Okay.
Adriana missed their captain Alex Boachi at the back. Though Ramon Ajimai stood in, played very well, defended very well. I think that their Melford, first 15 minutes of the game, Adriana took the game to Hasselhoff.
Okay.
Because the 3 guys in Melford, they talk of Maxwell Atta, Seydou Sana, and of course this young chap, Henderson and Ponsa, took the game to Hasselhoff. They made sure that Hasselhoff Melford with the 2 people, they talk of Abdul Karim and then Opon Fani. Opon Fani is a typical centre back. Okay. So the moment you see him playing as a pivot, Didi Dramani is trying to have 5 players at the back.
Okay.
So Karim should
of course 4 defenders and then an extra one playing
for
as a
Didi
midfielder.
to start Mauli Wayo. He knows how effective Adriana's left wing side is very good. So Maulu Wayo has got pace. So placing him at the right wing tells you that he's stopping their left back from coming forward. Because the moment he comes and the ball goes behind him, Maulu Wayo is gone. He plays George Paku on the left. A very young player. He's a direct midfielder, a box midfielder. But he's decided to place him out there and then play Hamza. Told Hamza to be running at the defenders. Hamza is very strong. Very, very, very strong. Physically, he's very strong. He asked him to run at the Adriana player. So Adriana decided to control the midfield, use the pocket of spaces, and as the folk were struggling a bit. But Didi Dramani stood on his ground throughout the 90 minutes. And I think that the players were tactically disciplined. Hasselhoff created all the decent chances in the game. The first chance came to the way of Martin Kakari, where I thought that basic technique of heading the ball at the back of the net, he failed. Maulu Ayo also had, by putting a spin on the ball, he decided to blew the ball away. And another opportunity where he has 2 players, colleagues that he can easily give a pass for them to finish to, he couldn't. Adriana hardly came into the game because they were using Bright J. I thought that they missed Emmanuel Marfo. No wonder Choba Aristika spoke about it. Because Bright J, with experience, gave them some openings at the Hasselhoff back, but at the end of the day, the strength is you understand? But
he's just not
I
up
think
to the
that young chap Patrick Mensah is one player we need to watch from the left side. He's very good on the ball. He turns in and out, very direct. But just that when he gets to the final third, the decision making, but awareness and decision making is something that worried Hasselhoff. Other than that, Hasselhoff should have scored not at least 2 goals in the game.
Wow.
So for me, yes, they dominated. Even the last 5 minutes of the game, Adams that came on had 2 glorious opportunity and he too couldn't finish up. Decision making, position wise, he failed to do that. And looking at Hasselhoff games at Doma since 2021 up to yesterday, Hasselhoff has not even scored a goal against Adriana. Adriana has not won all the games. So for them to go into this game, they were thinking of, look, if we don't win, they don't beat us. And for Solomon Agbashi, 5 games, 6 games, 5 clean sheets, excellent performance, especially that 2 brilliant saves that he made. Save Hasselhoff from conceding on the run of play. But I think that the whole of Hasselhoff team, they are just lacking the bench. They don't have the strong bench. Because the players that came on, right, you talk of Collinson. When was the last time Collinson played for Hasselhoff? They also talk of Kujo. But did that changes because Afrani has gotten a yellow card and Karim also got so obviously
he had to
slowed their performance because they were scared they were going to go out. At a point when Karim even made a foul at the edge of the penalty area of Hasufuk, everybody thought the referee was going to give a second yellow and a red card. So Didi Ramani was smart to pull those players out. And I think that young chap called Henry, Hasufuk, they need to look at that ball. Okay. Very good. He came to substitute Mauli Wayo on the right side. Very quick on the ball. Very, very smallish, but very quick on the ball. Anytime there's a pass, he always wants to go in front of the Adriana defenders. And he does it perfectly. So I ask myself, Hasufuk have this boy and they don't give him the opportunity? No, I'm telling you, they have this boy, they don't give him the opportunity. I was surprised.
You think he should get some more minutes?
Yes, they should give him more minutes because look, he doesn't fear the defenders of Adriana, the likes of Anochi Bedu, Raymond Ajima, and the likes. He doesn't fear them. And the way Abubakar, and the way he was going through them, they were bullying him, but he was still going. You watch the pass he gave Adams when he came on. You ask yourself, do you have this player? And for me, I think that Didi Damani should be giving these young chaps the opportunities, especially when probably House of Folk is leading by a goal or 2 goals and maybe 20 minutes or 10 minutes to the end of the game. If they're able to come on and perform, House of Folk will have good things to do because their next game is against Samates, another tough game. And he believes that the players does better away than even playing at home. Yes. So because of a good performance. But for Adriana, putting all that hard work against the Heart of Lions, going back home, I think that their fans also supported them well. It was the pitch was good. Officiating week 14, week 15, no complaints. Excellent. So I think that we witnessed a very good game at Doma, and as the folk deserve that 1 point.
Wonderful. Adriana 0 had 0. Dreams FC, they are finally out of of the relegation zone. They beat Bekum Chelsea by 3 goals, but by 3 goals to 1. Yeah. It's been a very tough season for Dreams. It's taking them a long time to get here.
Dreams is playing well. There are 2 games that I've watched Dreams where I felt that they deserved to lose, and they lost. That was the game against All Blacks and 11 Wonders. Both teams dominated Dreams FC. But apart from that, Dreams have been playing very well. We also saw the game against Kotoko. They don't deserve to lose that game. At least they should have come up with a point in that game. And playing at the Tuba Park, I think that they've been so wonderful. Beating Samates, beating Beche, beating Hohoi. Dreams FC at Tuba, they are very good. And I think Suraj announced his presence after returning from the Galaxies game. He also scored. He scored the first goal. And I think that it was good for Dreams FC. Even prior to the game, Bekum Chelsea, section of the fans were complaining that they've already lost the game because they believe that the officials that are coming are not going to be fair. But I believe that yesterday, anybody that witnessed the game or monitored the game will not mention officiating. Dreams FC deserves the 3 points. They should have even scored 4, but they had the 3 goals. And I think that it is good for Dortmund and his boys. Bekum Chelsea, Samobodu is struggling.
What seems to be the problem?
You see, no, they made away of about 9 key players of the team. And I'm also thinking that, look, you made sales. You make
more than $1. They need money.
No, but you made sales of about 9 players. Stephen Mancona went to Egypt. Money came. The players that went to Doma, money came. And I'm aware the money Kotoko paid Adriana for Zakaria Fuseni and then Hubert Jehu. Yeah. And these are guys
good money.
Good money. So at least you should get players that will place them in terms of their quality or probably performance. But Bekum doesn't have quality players. I mean, you talk of the goalkeeper for Renchi, Tema Youth, Kotoko, Mediama has he has got experience. The national team. Yes. And Iwa Mensah, the centre back, he has played for Nations FC. Before Nation, he was outside the country, and then he has played for Hasselhoff. The experience is there. Yeah. They have one of the finest midfielders in the league, Kosi Soruto, in midfield. Vincent Eje is doing what. Benjamin Abedu has played for Bekum Chelsea for years. He traveled, he played Mediama. Yeah. So these are experienced guys. So if you are adding or probably bringing in young players to augment the squad, by the sales that you've made, at least get some players that will do the job for you in terms of when the chances are created. Samuel Bodu is an experienced coach, but he's struggling. He's struggling because if in their last home game, he was not available. They won. They won by 1-0 against Hohoi United. And Samuel Bodu was in South Africa with the Galaxies. He is back, and then he has come to concede 3 goals. This is the second time he has conceded 3 goals in the Ghana Premier League. Their first 3 goals was against All Blacks. So I think that Samuel Bodu and his technical team need to analyze the team. And I've also said that, look, in the Ghana Premier League, if you know your opponents very well, half of the job is done before you even go onto the pitch. Because if I know how Brekum Chelsea plays their game, you know the Adriana game, Adriana will not build from the back.
Yes.
They'll go the long ball and then try to pick the second ball. So Didi Dramani realized that this is what they wanted to do and this is what they've been doing. So let's put Afrane and then Abdul Karim. So anytime the ball goes the long way, trust Ali Mohammed and Osesibe to get the ball.
They win,
the
and then I have 2 players
to
ready
pick the second ball.
To
and
pick
that
the
is
second
what.
Ball.
And I was surprised that Adriana didn't change from that. At a point, House of Folk decided to go the wide area, the wing way, wing play, and it was working for House of Folk. It's just unfortunate that they had about 1 corner kick in the game or 2, where I think that is the strength of House of Folk, even if when they are playing at home or away. The game against Brekum Chelsea that they won. That was what they used to get their goal. So I believe that Brekum Chelsea, if they don't do things right, they'll still struggle. But they have opportunity of signing new players to augment the squad. If they believe that the players that they have today, they need to add up. I think there's opportunity. The window is open.
You talk about Brekum Chelsea. I'm looking at their away form. It's so bad.
So bad.
They've not won in their last 5. They've lost 4 in a row away from home. They lost to Heart of Lions, lost to Adriana, lost to Mediama, and they've now lost to Dreams FC.
It's not good for a team that has been in the league for a long time. A league winner in the Ghana Premier League before. A team that has produced quality of players. The likes of Liadi, Edward Podo, Ajiman. You talk of Maxwell Atta. Alfred Atta, the left back. Alexander, Clote, Bismarck Aidan, Ubedo Usu, Abdul Basit, and the likes. These are quality. Solomon Asante. Just name them. And looking at Brekum Chelsea history, I don't think they should be struggling by now. They should be able to replace quality with players. Quality after quality. They should be able to replace them. Because Obedi Ketia is doing so well behind the scene. I mean, for Brekum Chelsea, yes, as we speak, clubs are on the heels of his midfielder, Kwesi Sorotu. So he should tell you that, look, we are there. So you should
be ready to find a replacement.
Good. And that is why I have problems with some of the clubs. Because as it stands now, Kotoko is after one of nation's players.
So you should already have a replacement.
And the nation themselves are talking to the player if he wants to go. Because at the end of the season, his contract runs out. And the player
he doesn't want to extend.
So they're also looking
at find a replacement.
They are speaking to a Division 1 side that have a replacement for that player that I'm talking about. I just want to mention it. And though Asofo cannot register, Mediama is also looking at to fill up their central defense because they believe that they have a pool of Mofoders and they are very good, very skillful ones. And they believe that they need 1 or 2 to augment the squad because if they should win today, they will come 1 point ahead of Indiana. And they have a game in hand against Gold Stars. Gold Stars is also looking elsewhere. So I think that gradually coaches should know the team that they are handling.
Of course.
They should know replacement for players. I will always mention Maswell Konodu because I work with him in Kotoko. Look, drawing KKs upon time. Before the season ends, we know which players are leaving and which players are coming. At a point, Abe Kwenosin was playing for New Edubiasi. We have to get Abe Kwenosin, but to stay and play for Edubiasi for another season because instead of bringing Abe Kwenosin, we tried to bring Rashid Smala from Ebuswan Drafts. Because we knew Rashid Smala was coming for 6 months and he'll be leaving. So as soon as he goes, he knows he's coming to play for Kotoko. So he'll double his effort playing for New Edubiasi. Seydou Bansi before he came, and there was another player, Kofinti was leaving. So we knew Seydou Bansi was coming. So as he was playing for Dwarfs, we were also in talks with him because we have already gotten him. So that is how Kotoko became strong. So at a point, Maxwell was having Ben, a champion from Wow Stars. He had Nathan Asamoah, Yaya Mohammed, Ahmed Toure, Kofinti Boachi.
That was a strong squad.
Strong, good. When you come to the midfield, you have Michael Ekufu, Michael Yaboa, Michael Anaba, Nia J, and the likes.
It's a very strong it was all a very strong Kotoko team.
And even at the central of defense, you have Henry Brinya, Donko, formerly of Heart of Lions, that tall guy. And you also had to get another player from Brekum Chelsea. Look at the right side of the Kotoko defense during Maxwell's time. Yaf Frimpong was there. Amos was the captain of BA Stars.
He came in.
We have Razik Muhammad from Wafa and then Sabato from Wow Stars. Come to the left back. Baba Rama stood there, though we can improvise to use Amos Frimpong and some of the players out there. Looking at the goalkeeping department, Felix Annan, Isaac Amuakon, Dele Sulama, and George Atta. So you look at the Maxwell squad, a strong squad. And at that time too, the reserve side, Okra and the rest were also there preparing themselves. So the moment one player leaves, he knows which player is coming in. And every Wednesday that there's no league match, Maswa plays a friendly match, use those players that do not get playing time. So at the point, Steve Odro and Yahya Mohammed were begging to play for the reserve side because they were not getting playing time here. And today we don't say it that way. So teams struggle because if one player gets out of the team, they struggle. That is how Kotoko is always mentioning Albert Amoah. But I think that he's gone.
Yeah, they should move on.
So let's take it. Albert Amoah is injured today. If he's here and he's injured and he's going out for about 3 months, what did Kotoko do? The technical team needs to work around those players out there. Get those players also work extra. Get those players to be able to put them all there. And that will make the team very attractive and effective. But if you don't do that, at the end of the day, what are you trying to tell us? So that is what is happening in our league. If you know your opponents very well, half of the job is done.
Wonderful. Well, Brekum Chelsea not doing well at all. Gold Stars, they got themselves a win away from home. They were the only team to have won away. They beat Hohoe United by 1.
I was surprised. I was surprised because Hohoe United at the Hohoe Sports Stadium, they are very, very easy, like Wafa at Sogakope.
Very comfortable.
And you understand? But for Gold Stars, I'll give them the credit. One, they rested because their game was postponed.
Yes.
And they rested very well. They had their striker, Atakumi, with the Galaxies back to join the team. And watching the goal that they scored, it was a set piece. It was a free kick at the edge of the penalty area. And they deceived the goalkeeper and expectedly take it. And I think that I'll give credit to Coach Yao Mankwa. Everybody thought that he came in as an assistant coach. Performance was relief of his post and he would struggle. But Akosedu and his people gave him the confidence. And since he went to beat All Blacks at Swedru, he lost the game to Basake over there. And he went there to beat them in the FA Cup. So he knew how to play away games. And going all the way to Hohoe, we all saw how Hohoe dominated Kumasi Asante Kotoko and won that game. But thinking about how Hohoe sometimes play at home, pressure comes from the fans. 11 wonders with 10 men even have the point from that game. So why can't Gold Stars go and also make sure that if we don't win, they don't win? But if the opportunity comes, let's take it. And they scored the goal and then they managed the game very well. And they went away with the 3 points. Though initially I thought that it would be difficult for them. I even predicted a win for Hohoe or a draw. But let me give credit to Gold Stars. I mean, they did very well.
Good stuff. Karela beat Vision by a goal to nil. Nations FC, they beat Young Apostles by a goal to nil as well. It's been a tough time for Nations since the start of the season, but Emmanuel Arnaud's first half penalty was the difference.
It was a difficult game for them. I told you about how Young Apostles is playing this season. Last season, by this time, they were struggling down there to probably fight out of relegation because last season, I think they have about 4 coaches. Before the season ended. By this time, they have one that is doing very well. And I also thought that their game against Kotoko and Babayara, due to the instances where the officiating penalty way Kwamaya, we all saw it. Against Hasselhoff at Wenchi, they believed that they had a perfect penalty that was the referee refused to take for them. They went all the way to Swedru to pick a point. They went to Tema to pick a point from Vision. They came home to beat Karela. So it tells you that they are doing something good. Nations struggled in yesterday's game. And for me, I think that yes, Arnaud is back. With his absence, they struggle. That was where they missed him in their last game against Hasselhoff. We all saw it. He's back into the team. And it was a difficult game for the Frimpong boys. They've won about 3 games at home. They've never won a game away from home. A team that was nearly won the Ghana Premier League last season and is struggling around this time. So I think that congratulations to the boys. They fought and a Young Apostle didn't disgrace themselves.
Samatex 1, Heart of Lions 0.
3 losses on the row for Bashir Ford. Nations, Adriana, and then of course Samatex. Their next home game is against Mediama. Another big game.
Very
big game.
Very big game.
So if Bashir Ford is not careful and loses that game at Kwando, there will be a lot of pressure on his head. If not from anybody, from me. I'm telling you. Nathan, I'm serious. If not from
what's the problem? What has gone wrong for Lions?
You see, I believe that Bashir Ford is trying to let us understand that the players are too complacent with how they are playing and they believe that.
Yeah, but I mean, as coach, if you've seen a problem, you solve it.
He started saying these things when they went to play Swedo Blacks.
Yes.
He said it against after they lost to Nations by 2-1. When they lost to
Adriana, he said the same.
You understand? But I asked myself, look, you have a pool of players. Your bench is very good. So if you believe that one or two players feel they are okay, they are comfortable in that position, then you should be able to do something. Some of us were talking about you missing 3 key players: Lawrence Osei, Ebenezer Aban, and Eche Dogli. Now this time they were available. For a very long time, Samatex has been struggling to beat Heart of Lions, but they also decided to go all out because they lost to Basake by 2 goals. And for them, away has not been good, but home is very good for them. And their next game is against Heart of Oak. If they don't win that game against Heart of Lions, they will struggle. Because Heart of Oak is coming back home, their fans will expect them that this is the Christmas Eve and they need to win against Samatex. Although it's never going to be easy. But Heart of Lions, for 3 games that you struggle, I think that Dr. Randy Abbey, the management, they have to sit down with the technical team because they've allowed Bashir Ford and he's doing everything by himself. They don't bother him. Whatever he asks for,
he has full control.
Whatever he asks for, they give it to him freely. And I think that he needs to do something because look, when you talk of Yao Danso, the right back is one of the finest in the league. Bismarck and him have said that look, if you pick 3 left backs, it's one of them. Lawrence Osei, we saw him against the Bafana in South Africa. Ebenezer Aban, Ruben Innocent. I rate Hennessy ahead of Ebenezer Aban. Eche Dogli is in midfield. Ishmael Adu, you have the likes of Kwanzaa also in midfield. Look at the 3 guys in midfield. Very wonderful. Freeman on the left, that's Ileriano, Liberian guy. And on the right, we have the likes of B Junior, or sometimes Ateji comes into play. And of course, attack, you have Michael Epson. And these are guys on any day you cannot say that they cannot perform. The quality and the experience in the Ghana Premier League is there. Last season, you lost, I would say, about 3 players: Mustafa Yakubu, Abednego Tete, and one Kwesi Pong. These are the 3 key players. But the rest of the team has been there for the last 2.5 seasons. So if Bashir Ford, if he fails to glicker, or he fails to shine, I won't let him go. You know me. I won't let him go. Because when management is not doing well, we sit here, we talk about it. When players' bonuses and salaries are not being paid, we speak about it. But if our coaches are also not working well, then we will talk about it. Not because I'm also a coach, I'll just fold my arms. No, I won't do that. I won't do that. I won't do that.
You won't forgive. But I agree with you on that point. And for me, what I find a little disturbing is how he keeps talking about the same things. You are always saying that.
But you are in charge.
Yeah, and so
you don't expect Dr. Randy Abbey to come and do that for you.
You will have to get this team functioning. If you have to take tough decisions, bench players, so they are reminded that.
I intend visiting him at his training at Alajo, probably maybe tomorrow next.
And then
I'll have one-on-one with him and ask him what is the problem. I also have to talk to Nia J because most of the games, Nia J is on the touchline and he sits back and probably comes in once a while and goes. But I need to find out what is wrong with them because we need these teams to do well so that our league will be strong. I mean, we took the Galaxies to South Africa. Everybody is talking about Omoyadi, but I believe that was not all our best that we took out there, though they come for just 3 weeks. So I believe that we need to also step in. So when we feel that some of the big teams or the notable names are not doing well, and we can help behind the scenes, we do it because it will be good. When I was doing the Kotoko Dreams game, I had a friend from New Jersey.
Okay.
Said he played some time ago, Kotwabi Power Lines. And he took a shot from the TV and sent it to me that, hey man, I'm watching you from New Jersey. I said, wow, you're watching Ghana Premier League? Yes, I'm watching you. There was this Kotoko supporter, he's a doctor in Korea. Okay. He was also watching and he sent in a message. And then, fortunately for us, we had Sika Akono and then Bismarck Kobi also watching from Kenya. So that should tell you that people are watching the Ghana Premier League outside. So if we don't put up the right performances, we don't do the right things, I mean, we don't package everything. What are we selling outside?
Yeah. True.
We are calling for our home-based players to be able to get into the senior national team proper.
Yes.
And if they don't give out their best, if you do not call them, can you complain?
Yeah.
You can't complain.
Yeah.
That's why I was excited about the performance. House of Folk goalkeeper Solomon Abasi. No, he's making a case for himself.
And I think that when you look at Hearts, I'm particularly happy for Hearts because in the last few years, Hearts have had very serious goalkeeping problems. Right? If you look at, there was a spell where Hearts had major challenges with their goalkeepers. If I look at Benjamin Asare, and Agbasi. I think that they are a huge upgrade on what I have seen from Hearts in the last 3-4 years.
Yes, that one is.
In terms of goal, some of the goalkeepers they had, they were not convincing at all.
When it comes to Hearts and Kotoko, they never had problem with goalkeeping.
Yes, for many years. For many years. Yes, for many years.
Nana Beni Krens, name them. They had quality goalkeepers up to Sami Eje, Alija. Just mention them, Ibendida and the rest. But I agree with you. 2-3 years ago, had issues with goalkeeping.
Major issues with goalkeeping.
But today they have good goalkeepers. One is the number one goalkeeper
and I think getting Agbasi was a very good decision because initially he wasn't getting. I think he was injured.
No, that was the reason why I always give credit to Coach Abubakar Ouattara. He made sure that has to register Solomon Agbashi. Yeah. He got injured after the Dreams FC confederation.
Yeah.
Other than
that, it's true because he went off the scene.
People were not talking about him because let me put it, Dreams FC, and I said it here or I said it somewhere the other day that look. Some of us or some of the people were not fair to Dreams FC at that time.
Okay.
When a Dreams FC player is invited because of a Kerty player, no, it happened. But I believe that there were some players too that they didn't deserve to be in the national team. But most of them deserve to be there, but because it's Kerty. But they were not fair to them. Yeah. Today, Solomon Agbashi he's not with Dreams FC. He got injured right after the confederation. He's back. He was on the hospital bed when Ouattara was even asking him to sign for House of Folk. He pushed for it. His registration with House of Folk delayed due to 1 or 2 reasons. In terms, I don't want to go there, his medical issues. So, but they were able to get him. Yeah. He had his patience. Asare is number one. He respected that. Yeah. Asare went to the national team. And House of Folk is not complaining about goalkeeping, but they are complaining about goal scoring out there. The one who is to get the ball at the back of the net. Though they don't have squad in there. If you look at the House of Folk bench, no, it's not good.
Too light.
A team that wants to win a league, you don't have such a. If you have such a bench, it will be difficult for you. Yeah. It will be very difficult.
But the goal scoring problem is a league-wide problem. Maybe one day we'll talk about it. I also think there's a problem with goal scoring generally in the Ghana.
I agree with you. The days of let me put it, Kokumenu, that is from former Kotoko striker. The likes of Yanakwa, House of Folk. Let me go to that.
This was like
years back.
Because Ian, Ian is.
I mentioned some strikers that have come through. Lab to Ishmael Ado's time. You have the likes of Prince Tego, the likes of Fami. They've scored some wonderful goals. And apart from those players scoring, let's go to the 2000 House of Folk squad. You get Ishmael Ado scoring, you get Kufo scoring, Don Bote scoring, Charles Taylor scoring.
Charles Taylor.
When you go to the Shamokwe era, you have the likes of Richard Nawu scoring, you have the likes of Ezekiel Ademu scoring, the late Shamokwe scoring. Abladi Kuma will have his opportunity, he will score. Go to Kotoko at that time. Joe Debra will score, Robert Eshon will score, Thomas Wachi, there's a training, he will score. Mention them, Isaac Kwachi will get opportunity, he will score. But today,
and even after that generation, people like Prince Edu Poku,
good
and things.
Good. You go to that era. Come to Maswa Kunedu's time. Yeah, Mohammed will score. Kofiti will score. Ahmed Toure will score. Ahmed Toure will score. Come to
Ahmed Toure.
You see, and even at the time that Mahatma was scoring for House of Folk, they have other players who are also scoring. But today, if Hamza Issa do not score, House of Folk will struggle to get a goal. If Paco will not pop somewhere and come and have a goal, they will struggle. Yeah. But I ask myself, what are our coaches doing? Because I believe that. I always use Kotoko Peter Amidu Akwa as an example in a game situation.
You say he gets into very good position
and get a lot of opportunities, but how many of them does he convert? So, do the technical team get worried about that? And when they go back to training, what do they do about it?
So you say it's a coaching problem.
They need to help them. There are positions whereby you don't need to shoot. You need placing. There are positions you don't need to just hit. You look at the goalkeeper and just lob the ball. It's decision making. Your awareness in the penalty area and your decision making, how to plant the ball. Yeah. Is it something difficult?
Like Morifin Donzo.
So when you repeat
Morifin Donzo in the Super Clash, Osas Ibe gives you the ball. Just put. Oh God.
Already, apart from the energy, no. So for me, I believe that repetition of training sessions helps players.
So you say that the coaches should help. They need to improve the play.
Why do you think that teams have a throw-in coach? A set pieces coach,
strikers coach.
Why do you think they have it?
Yeah. So they can take
advantage of it and improve. Let's go to Europe. I always mention, look, you have Lewandowski, he's scoring, but you can also have Rafinha, who is not a striker, scoring. Lami Yamal is not. Even the likes of Pedri and co, they have chances that they score.
Yeah. If you look at Bayern Munich, for example, if you take away Harry Kane, other players are scoring.
Go to Real Madrid. Mbappe is not a typical number 9 player.
But he's
apart from him, the other players are scoring. Yeah. So what makes those players score those goals? They work on it.
It's true.
They work on it. I don't know if your callers will call and ask and say, because team we training and shooting. It's not about shooting.
You create the scene. So you have to create the game situation.
It's about how to plant the ball at the back of the net. Yeah. It's not about only shooting. You saw Mauli at a position where you think that it's a simple just putting a spin on the ball, far corner of the post. And you saw how you blew the ball away. You saw Kwame Poku against Dreams FC at the penalty spot. Yeah, the pole to ask for 3 crying shit. Why?
The ball is in the air.
So, and for me, I think that our coaches also need to look at that side. It's not only about tactics or system. Let's also work on them.
The player
some of these things are basic. And to be honest with you, that's why I always love to talk about Otia Kenten. Days at Heart of Lions when I was there with him. The likes of Banahene, Dominic Edia, Abraham Annan, the likes of Edmundo Uso and San Jordi Amwa. They were doing a lot of work. Do you know what they were doing? Building your confidence in the penalty area. Have about 3 defenders in the penalty area, and then have about 2 strikers in the penalty area. The rest of them are midfielders and wingers. Get them the ball, control, you finish. 10, you finish. So when you find yourself at a position in the penalty area and you turn, you know where the ball, when you close your eyes, you know where the ball is going. We are not doing that. So once in a while, you have a flash of a wonderful goal, and the whole country became, hey, go be a shower.
Look, I don't know. Maybe one day we'll talk because
you have to
coach. It bothers me a lot. It bothers me a lot that we play a Ghana Premier League season. You watch match after match, and you can tell that goal scoring is. We have a problem. Like I was just saying, players are always making the wrong decisions, right?
You see, I remember we used to talk about our pitches. Today we have most of the pitches being very, very good. Very, very good. You talk of Hohoi, Babayara, Legon, some of the venues. Very good pitches. Yeah. So, placing the ball on the turf, not whereby a pass will become say a ball, and then no. You have it. It's about your body language, your positioning, and your awareness. Yeah. You see, if I try to, and I don't get it, the 3rd time I should be able to. If I don't hit the pole, I should get a target. Try and if you miss, try to improve upon it. You try to improve upon it. I believe that teams that played yesterday, today they will try to do recovery, small running, and all of that. Then that
proper trainings from when tomorrow.
And all that. You understand? Maybe there's no midweek, so they'll be doing the tactical work against their next game. But what the mistakes that happen in the game? You need a video analyst. Video, and of course, when you go to Europe, they have a lot of video analysts in their teams, but they do a lot of work on the field.
Of course, because what is the purpose of the video?
I'm saying
that to see the mistake.
Yes,
go back to the.
I'm saying that look, they do a lot of work on the field. The video is there. You go to the video room. The video analyst will show you. You were supposed to run at this level. You allow the person to go because you lost concentration. This is how they do they take their set pieces within this area of the field. So in case there was the player number 3, you were supposed to be at this position. Fine, it's good. But what makes the player good? What makes the player important? It should be done on the field of play. At training.
Yeah.
At training, and that is what I always talk about. At training. Our goalkeepers work a lot at training. They work a lot. That is why they eat a lot. Goalkeepers, some of the decent players, they eat a lot. They work a lot. So as a striker, I remember Eric Donko when he was with Kotoko, and one of the training sessions, he was at the left side. He always want to send him balls for Ahmed Toure to finish. And I was just looking at him, and I went to him and I said, Eric, ball now, Ahmed Toure, or see there be. But the fan in the stands would think that wing and ball, no strike and answer. But me as a coach,
you can tell that it was a wrong cross.
It was a wrong cross because you didn't locate the player. You just kick because you are a fan of crossing. But raise your head, and then you find 3 players. If your player is in the middle, you should be able to get the ball to him. And I will applaud you. Then the fans sitting in the stands saying, "Why are they?" And Eric, because at the point it was Cole Benson of Tema Youth.
Yeah.
Dombote, they were the best crossers of the ball.
Yeah.
Eric Donko became one of them. Today we don't have crossers in the league.
True.
How many of the players does crosses in the league? How many of them? Apart from remember Adumako of Ediana, Mankwabe of Hasselhoff, but and then Lord Amo of Kotoko. But check how they do it. Is it good?
Are they consistent? Do they do it regularly?
Because you don't go see me today and say, Coach, they are basics. They are basics. When you watch and your player is not ready and there's space, go. You don't just kick.
Don't just kick for the fun of it.
If there's space and your attackers are not ready, you move in. You can deceive and also score.
Yeah, that's true.
You see,
reminds me of a story Professor Minta once told. We went for a program somewhere, and listeners will be wrapping it up quickly on the Ghana Premier League. He said when he was coaching Dwarfs, they had this routine they did. So they sequence, so they patterns, rehearsed patterns. And in the game situation, they recreated it. So the game was happening. The players remembered the patterns. But at the end of the process, so typically in training, when they do it, it's the striker who is there. But in the build-up, something happened and it took the striker out of the box. Now it was the left back who got into the box. And Professor Minta, when the left back got into the box, he stopped and turned and was looking around.
Oh, just striker, no?
No, he was looking at the bench, trying to get the coach to ask him, like, what should he do?
I should jump.
And Professor Minta, he was explaining decision, and he was saying that he was shocked because he was wondering,
training.
You are in the box. Even if it is not the striker, you are there. That's the goalkeeper. Take a shot. And he says his left back was looking at him to ask what he should do.
See, football.
But you're right. I guess the coaching has to improve, right?
Yeah, football has
decision
developed.
making.
Football has developed. I mean, you go to a team's training ground, you only have about 10 balls. You need more than 1,500 balls at training. Each player to a ball. Each player to a ball. Each player to a ball. And for me, I think that the coaches should do repetition at training. Every coach will complain, mini striker. At the end of the season, you work off a striker, or set treya, you striker, you shoot two. A whole Ghana league and the top scorer will be 15 goals. And the whole team, if you add the number of goals that they've scored at the end of the season, it will not up to 20. Why? But go and check the number of chances that they created within the league.
It's true.
I will mention Peter Midu Aqua because last season he created about 20 chances in the league. How many did he score? Did they work on him? He's a young player, very good player. Yes, he can have a bad day, but if you work on his goal scoring abilities, it will help him to improve.
Of course.
And as a player yourself, you need to also improvise. When in the game situation, maybe a bon.
Anyway. So as we wrap up, let me just go through the full results list.
But I think Mediama and then Basaka today.
Yes, Mediama and Basaka. Coach, quickly thoughts on that.
Big game.
Mediama currently, when I look at the league table,
second,
26 points. If they win, they go top.
With a game in hand.
Your thoughts on that?
I think it's going to be a difficult game. Johnson Smith took over 4 games. He's not lost a game. He has picked a point from Doma, and it's a huge venue, tough venue. He's beating Kotoko, he's beating Nations, he's beating Samates, and coming to this game, of course, when they lose, I don't think it will be news. But if they win, it's a big news. Bechem has gone there to pick a point. Samates has gone there to pick a point. It's up to Coach Tanko and his players to put it here. If we win, we are on top. Even with a game in hand, if we win this game, we are going on top. Because we have a game against Heart of Lions. And if you're able to go and be even a pick, gradually, probably we'll be getting to where we want to go to. Johnson Smith, on his part, probably he's there as a caretaker coach. If he's able to do well, who knows? At the end of the season, some will come and poach him because he's doing very well out there. And I believe that everybody is going to watch this game on TV. It's a big game, but I think a win or a draw for Mediama will happen. Will happen today. And on Wednesday, Kotoko 11 less at the
Legon Stadium.
Kotoko should remember what happened to them last season when they played Legon Cities, when they were also at the bottom of the league. What happened to Kotoko? They should think about it before coming. 11 less, though they are down there, they are playing one of the finest games that you can witness. They have one guy called Awere, it just a Milford. Yes, they have Boateng, their captain also. They have a good team. Their goalkeeper is an experienced goalkeeper. I mean, a former Gold Stars goalkeeper, but he's a very good experienced goalkeeper. But if Kotoko, based on what I witnessed, they played a friendly match with a Division 2 side, fast track. Injured players are back. Sakadada is back. Emmanuel Kote is back. and they all took part in that friendly. They have an Ivorian striker called Koulibaly who is doing justify.
You mentioned that last.
Yeah, he scored the only goal in that friendly match.
Are they looking at signing him?
I don't know. We saw those who scoring in their Kotoko preseason, scoring goals, and some of the Kotoko supporters will be on radio. Ball. Today, ball, but it's going to be a nice game. But I think that as Kotoko and Haas will always be our favorites, but they need to be very cautious about how they approach this game. Other than that, what happened last season may happen.
Wonderful. Coach, thank you so much for joining us. 8:45, Coach Ebenezer Sefa joined us to review the Ghana Premier League match week 15. Two outstanding games, or 2 games left. One in this round. Mediama taking on Basake Holy Stars. And 11 Wonders will face Asante Kotoko. That game is being played, or that game will be played on the 24th. Today, it is Mediama versus Holy Stars. Mediama are looking at the opportunity of going top of the table. All right, 054-257-1061, 054-257-1061. This is the Sporty Breakfast. Your comments are welcome. Let's talk about the AFCON next. Let's talk about the AFCON next. It's a very, very interesting time in Morocco. We have a battalion. We have a battalion at the AFCON. We've got a crack squad there, a hit squad there in Morocco, enjoying themselves Sporty and all of that. We'll be speaking to each one of our hit team. But we've got Yvonne Woyome, we've got Enoch Fifi Forsin, Michael Asai-Bwedu, and Nuhu Adams. They are the boots on the ground, keeping an eye on the AFCON. I think Yvonne is joining us. Let me start off with Yvonne, and then I'll bring the others in as and when they are available. Michael is also on there. Yvonne, Michael, good morning. How are you guys doing? How is Morocco on a Monday morning?
It's rainy, it's cold, but it's great.
I see, it's raining. Well, when I was there for the playoff, it did rain on a couple of occasions. Michael, how are you doing today?
Good morning, Nathan. I'm good. How about you?
Yes.
Of course, it's been raining since yesterday. So.
Wow. quite, and I know it does get quite cold in Morocco. Interesting. Yvonne, let me start off with you. How has it been so far? Were you at the opening game, or what were you up to yesterday as the AFCON began?
Yes, I was at the opening game between Morocco and Comoros, which Morocco eventually won. Talking to fans, different people around the world. We had people from Asia, from Europe coming to support Morocco, the host nation, and that opened up. The ambience of the town, Rabat, is actually calm. People are not as loud as we would want them to be, especially like from West Africa, where we are very bold and shouting and playing music and all of that. Moroccans are pretty calm, but they did turn up for their team. It was a 60,000 capacity, sitting capacity yesterday for that game. So we're saying that roughly only 9,000 seats were unoccupied, but it was a good game and it was a good show. And Moroccans are very receptive towards other African countries.
Wonderful. I see you are decked out in your Morocco sweater.
Yes.
Against the cold weather. You are talking about lots of people who are non-Africans coming to the AFCON. How excited were they? Are there any fans who are watching another AFCON, or for most of them, this was their very first AFCON?
Yes, this was the very first AFCON, especially for Moroccans, natives as well. It's a big deal for Morocco. Like we know, they are gearing towards the 2030 World Cup. And so this is also like a prep for them. And it's also the second time they're hosting the African Cup of Nations. They've put a lot of work in it. And so it is major for a lot of people to come to the stadium yesterday.
Interesting stuff. Michael, let me come to you. I'm sure you also were at the ground. I saw your video, outside at the fun park when it was raining and all. How was that experience? How excited were the people you saw and spoke with? How excited were they concerning the opening day of the AFCON?
I think if there is a phrase to qualify something that is beyond excitement, I would have used it. I think, yes, this was the first time Morocco was hosting the AFCON since 1988, and the people really meant it. And from the few I've spoken to, their target is not really to make people enjoy the AFCON, but to make a bold statement to the rest of the world that they are ready to stage a big competition or a bigger competition like the FIFA World Cup. And for them, they are using this AFCON as a preparation just to usher people in and make them aware of what Morocco is about. It is a football tournament, yeah, but the whole portrayal from Moroccans, and then I think from the LOC, is to create that kind of atmosphere that goes beyond just what you enjoy in a typical football setting. They want to make it a worthwhile experience. So there is a deliberate attempt to expose you to Moroccan culture, their tradition, what they are about, and then the football is an attachment as well. And it makes it all beautiful. The moment you step into the country, then you kind of appreciate what this whole thing is about. And on the streets of Rabat, even before I went to the fan zone, it was special. It was raining. The rain started from around 1 p.m. local time. And they did not deter anybody from doing what they were supposed to do. Those who had to sell had opened their Medinas, their shops at the Medina. They were selling every stuff that was there to buy. But there was one portrayal they did that did really indicate that football is happening. There you could see Moroccan jersey, other paraphernalia, even stuff that were banned at the stadium, they were selling it. The vuvuzelas, the whistles, it was that beautiful, trust me. And almost everybody, the elderly, the middle-aged, the youth, the kids, they immersed themselves into the whole initiative. And then we got to the fan park. Let me tell you something. I have seen Rapaholic concerts. Ones that Sarkodie has done in Accra or in Kumasi. There isn't one in Kumasi. Cars were parked at a certain distance. Now, from what I observed, it was difficult to get a parking space. So what the security officials decided to do was that they had to create de facto parking spaces for cars to park there so people can park and move on. And I could count like thousands of cars. This was not the stadium, just one of the two fan parks. And it was raining, but I could count like 1,000 cars that are parked so that people can just park their cars and then move to the fan zones. And they moved in pairs. Like it was either I was coming with my family, including my wife, my kids, or I was coming with someone else, a group of friends. I did not see a single person making a movement. They came in pairs, and it just demonstrated something. I know Ghana is a footy-mad country, but I don't think we measure up to what Morocco is about. These people do really love their football. They love it. And the interesting part was the kids, but they had secured them. There was one family who had a baby in a cot, and they were wheeling the baby into the fan zone amidst the rain. It did not stop them from doing what they wanted to do. So they do really love their football. And they are also passionate about the media stuff. They were so enthusiastic to talk to me. They were willingly, they offered themselves. The issue was the language barrier. Maybe if it was you, Nathan, it would have been special because you can speak French. Yeah. So they come to me, mon ami, when they start the French, please, I beg you, pardon. So let's do English. Man. Oh, but there were pockets of them who could speak good English. They expressed themselves and they were so positive. But they also had respect for the other African participants, the Senegals, the Egypts. They believe that in as much as they have a solid team, they respect that football goes beyond just having a solid team. The other African teams can also show up here and do very well. And let's not forget, the last time Morocco hosted the AFCON, Cameroon came here to win it. So they are very much aware of what football can offer them. But they were full of optimism about their team, very positive about everything. And I think my star of the day, Ayub El Kabi might have scored a goal to crown the victory for them. By my star of the day was this young Moroccan fan I encountered. His name is Hayan. Now he decided to reverse roles. So what he did was that he took the microphone from me and he said he wanted to interview me. Initially he asked, so where do I work? And I said Ghana for Sporty FM. So he checked it out on Instagram and then on YouTube. And he said, okay, you give me the microphone, let me interview you. So he asked me a question in Arabic or French, and then I would have to say it in English. And it ran through. He even went ahead to interview other Moroccans. And Hayan was my star of the night. It was a beautiful moment, trust me. The race did not stop us. And it made the whole AFCON 2025 experience worthwhile. And I believe if this was the opening, then the other days will get very, very better than we saw yesterday.
Quite interesting. I see Efsin on the line. Efsin, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm great. I'm great, editor.
I see you're also in a sweater. You are feeling the weather. I like that. Efsin, what was your experience on the opening day of the AFCON? Are you also in Rabat or you are in a different place?
Yeah, I'm in Rabat. I got home very late last night after the game, after everything. I think everything finished around 12 or 11 or 12 local time, and we got back to our hotel. But it was a very nice experience. I think Michael has said it all. He mentioned how Morocco are using this tournament as a dress rehearsals for the big one to come in 2030. That's the FIFA World Cup. And FIFA President Infantino, during his address to at the stadium, mentioned that Morocco clearly are ready. The Kingdom of Morocco are ready to host the rest of the world when the World Cup comes around in 2030. So, the moment we step foot to the venue, the stadium, I was blown away. I was like, nah, I'm not too sure Morocco is part of Africa, because it was incredible. The facility is incredible, absolutely incredible. Like, everything is well planned, well structured, and it's amazing how they've been able to get things right. Remember when in 2015 they were supposed to host the AFCON, and then they ditched their plans because of Ebola, and they became CAF's #1 enemy during Issa Hayatu's time. I've always said that Morocco would have hosted the World Cup earlier if they had hosted the they hosted the AFCON 2015, but because they ditched their plans, they fell out of touch with CAF, and they weren't able to garner enough support from Africa to win their World Cup bids in past times. But this time around, they are the favorite sons of CAF. Everything is going to Morocco. They are hosting every major tournament there now. The women's AFCON is in Morocco. The AFCON proper is in Morocco. And they are not only hosting the tournaments, they are winning it. And it's very, very nice. Anytime anyone we spoke to, any Moroccan we spoke to was like, yeah, we want to win the AFCON. It's a big deal. We want to win it. Although we won the Olympic Games, we won bronze at the Olympic Games. We secured the Arab Cup, the Women's AFCON. We are doing so well. We want to win the AFCON proper. And I think from what we saw yesterday, if they should continue like this, and the return of Ashraf Hakimi could also help them to realize their dream. So far, so good in Rabat. The weather is very cold, but you are coping with it very well.
Yeah, it can get cold in Rabat. I remember when I was covering the playoffs, I think the semi-final, it rained. I didn't take a jacket with me, and there I was shivering in the rain and cold. So lesson learned. I see you guys are all strapped, so that's something. Michael, let me come back to you. Let's talk about the game itself. What did you make of Morocco's performance and the opening game in general? Morocco 2, Comoros 0. Your thoughts on everything that happened in 90 minutes?
So before the game, I was trying to do my own preview, and I read a couple of things. One, Morocco had not lost at the stadium ever since it was made ready in its current shape. They had beaten opponents. They had beaten the likes of Niger, Bahrain, any opponent they had faced there, they are beating them with a clean sheet. So one indicator was that Morocco was going to go into this game seeking victory. Of course, it was the opening ceremony. They hadn't considered as well. So they also look at defensive solidity. And when I saw the lineup, I was a bit puzzled because I expected to see the big names dominate, especially for the attacking positions. I understand the whole fury about why Ayoub El Kabi, for instance, did not start. But again, the indicator was that Walid Regragui perhaps believed that he has a solid squad, and it is always better that he starts with this team and then offers a solid bench as well to try and come in and change the game if things decide to go south. And that was what I saw. But in the early exchanges, Morocco, let's say, was a bit nervy. They wanted to prove a point just at that instance, and it did not really work well for them. But I think along the line, when they also missed that penalty, Comoros were starting to get into their heads. They were starting to frustrate them. But I knew there was always going to be that extra that Morocco would offer, that Comoros wouldn't be in a position to offer. The fans were very patient. You could see that they were not starting to get agitated or get concerned as to why their team hadn't scored, even at halftime. Then in the second half, the mark of every great team is the ability to impact the game, one, from the bench technically, and then two, for the personnel available. And Morocco has it. They have a solid technical team. Walid Regragui clearly knows this team. He knows how to use these players to get his results. And then he knows how to also tweak formations or tweak strategies in the game as the game is on, just to make sure that things will work well for him. So initially they were a bit relaxed in terms of how they built up, and then Comoros were also not pressing them. So they had little spaces to work out things in the advanced areas of the pitch. Then it got to that stage where they had to speed things up a bit. Then he decided to get his fullbacks fully involved. And I think it was a beautiful thing to watch. Chance after chance, opportunity after opportunity. But definitely Morocco held on to their belief that they would actually win the game. And it did come courtesy Brahim Diaz, who was also very frustrated in the first half, eventually getting a yellow card for overly going into an instance with the Comoros goalkeeper, and then he was booked by the referee. Then after that goal, things calmed down, things settled. But I want to believe if Ebonoa was at the fan zone yesterday, he wouldn't have won anybody to come join him in his own arc, because the people were so immersed in the football stuff that when the goal was scored, they forgot that there were even rains. They everywhere. Like how did they Nigeria scatter? That's why it was Rabat scatter. And then when the first goal came, the belief was in there that they were going to win, and then they saw to the victory. It was a beautiful spectacle. I've not seen anything like this. Okay, it's my first time in North Africa. People have been saying that these are footy mad people. They are crazy about their football. I think yesterday, with what I witnessed, is a clear demonstration. So it was a solid game, and the people got compensated for everything they put in, what they sacrificed to be in the rain just to watch their team play. It was not all so dominant from Morocco as you expect, but it was a very good performance and a very good result to start the AFCON.
Interesting. Yvonne, what was it like post-game? How was the vibe like? Did you get to speak with people? What did they say if you got to speak with them?
Yeah, I spoke to a few people. I even spoke to a streamer from Syria who came to watch the game. As expected, everybody knew Morocco was going to win. But for me, I couldn't believe that Morocco didn't get a goal in that first half. Comoros held them, even though Morocco had much of the ball. And I had this joke after the game that Comoros gave us the African football that we wanted to see, and Moroccan obviously gave us the European football. But afterwards, it was quick. Everybody wanted to leave because it was pretty cold and it was raining in the stadium. But I spoke to a number of people, and I even spoke to people from Ivory Coast too, who traveled from Europe, and they were pretty sad that Ghana wasn't part. I remember someone said that, what is AFCON without Ghana? And so Ghana, we need to do our best to represent at the the African Cup of Nations that's going to happen in East Africa. But yes, that was it after the game. Not so much. People were happy as expected, and so yeah, that is how after the post match went.
Well, great stuff there. Today is day 2 of today is day 2 of the competition in terms of
this is
the games. This is what we have: Mali, Zambia, South Africa, Angola, Egypt, Zimbabwe. Efsin, I don't know which of these games excites you, but pick any and give us your thoughts on this. Mali, Zambia, South Africa, Angola, Egypt, Zimbabwe.
I think the South Africa Angola is one to watch because Hugo Bruce has a very good team and they would like to make a statement at this tournament. Last time when they were in Ivory Coast, they went all the way to the semi-finals and they eventually picked a bronze medal. So coming into this tournament, they would like to better what they did in Ivory Coast, but they're in a very tricky group and it depends on how they start because don't forget Angola also had a decent tournament in Ivory Coast. They reached the quarterfinals and they lost to Nigeria or something like that. I remember they lost in the quarterfinals. So these two teams plus they also have Egypt and Zimbabwe in their group. So I think this is a 3-pointer for any of the two teams between South Africa and Angola, and whoever takes the 3 points, who fancy their chances of progression from the group. But I think this is one to watch. But also don't forget Egypt, Zimbabwe will be an interesting one because all the talk about Mo Salah and his Liverpool form and coming into this tournament, he would like to prove something. I've said that Salah has the supporting cast up front this time around because there's Omar Marmoush and there's a lot of guys who are in great form for their respective clubs. So he will not shoulder all the responsibility in terms of the attacking department for the Egyptian national team. This time around, he has some good players that he can rely on, or good players who can also contribute. But it depends on how they set up and how they approach this game. If they approach this game that like they've approached their previous AFCON games, is going to be very difficult for them. They need to play with confidence. They need to show the Egypt that we got used to between 2006 to 2010. I think since Mo Salah became the star man of Egypt, you can't pinpoint an AFCON game that you could say Egypt really dominated and they really blew away their opponents. They always struggle, they grind out results, and even in the 2021 that they reached the final, they played all their knockout stage matches in the lead up to the final on penalties. They won all their games on penalties, and in the final they lost on penalties. So they will look at this game as an opportunity to also make a statement. If they should beat Zimbabwe really well, then they'll think, okay, we have arrived. Don't forget that anytime the AFCON is hosted up north in the northern part of Africa, the North African teams do so well. And Egypt, when they hosted in 2006, won it. So they are pretty confident. And since they are very close to Morocco, a lot of their games is going to have their fans at the stadium, and it's going to feel like home games. So the Egyptian national team would like to take advantage. And also the last game, Mali, Zambia, some same fate has come in, and I think since Eric Shaw left the Malian team, we've not seen that explosiveness or the confidence that they play with. Especially we watched Mali at the 2023 AFCON in Ivory Coast. They were very, very exciting. The way they moved the ball, they passed the ball around. I was very, very sad when they lost to Ivory Coast, but it feels like destiny for Ivory Coast because even with 10 men, they managed to win that game and progress all the way and win the tournament eventually. But Mali have a very good team. With some same fate, I expect them to go far. But it depends on how they start this tournament. Don't forget, Zambia are coming into this tournament unbeaten in their AFCON qualification. So it's a big deal. They are, after that, all groups have potential between three teams progressing to the next stage. If you look at the parents and if you look at the groupings, and you understand why Ghana is not there, because they are all teams that are doing so well with their football. Like almost all the groups, like 3 teams are doing so well. So it's going to be a difficult one. Any team that wins the tournament really merits it because you're going to have to be at your absolute best to be crowned champions of Africa.
Well, we'll see. It's a very interesting start. Guys, let me take concluding thoughts from Michael and Yvonne. Michael, your thoughts on today's games, and Yvonne, you can also share a thought or two on today's games, and maybe you can tell us what your agenda looks like for today. Michael, you first, and then Yvonne.
All right, I think Mali, Zambia saw what happened in the Morocco-Comoros game, and I want to believe that they will see this game as an opportunity to maybe build up points and then try to be in a position where they will not be so desperate for points in their respective second game. So I think, Mali do start AFCON tournaments very well, but it is mostly like they fail to show up or deliver when it gets to that crunchy state where they need to prove their mettle, and that has been their bane for some time. So I think they will start well against Zambia. Zambia are trying to put their house in order. They had a very terrible World Cup qualification campaign, and after that they decided to part company with the veteran Evan Grant. So they are trying to do things new, and I don't think they are where they expect to be yet, but they still have some brilliant footballers, Patson Daka, Kangwa. These are very good footballers who on any given day can be tricky opponents for any kind of team they play against. And then for Mali, they have their full set. They have a very talented team. El Bilal Touré is likely to lead the attack for them. They have Amori Traore. They have a very good team. But the issue is that discipline has always been lacking, and it's cost them dearly at major tournaments. And at Tom Sanfeit, judging by what he did with Gambia wasn't as talented as Mali is, but he was able to drill them together, make them very disciplined on the pitch, and they did some positive things together. But with Mali, if he's able to instill that discipline into the team, they should go further. I'm taking Mali to beat Zambia this afternoon. And then for Egypt against Zimbabwe, Egypt are also one of the favorites for this competition. And before their game, they had a meeting where Mo Salah had to tell the players that they need to have that sense of sacrifice. Everybody needs to lay himself down for his teammate. They need to come together for the collective good. And I think it is something that they will drum home right from the start. And Hossam Hassan, he has been part of Egypt and successes at the AFCON before. In 1998, it was where he actually reached his peak. And he's brought that kind of atmosphere into their setup. And it is going to be an Egyptian team. Yes, I know Mo Salah is in the team, but it will not just be about Mo Salah. It will be about the collective and how they can team up and then deliver quality. Against Zimbabwe, they are the favorites. And Fifi said something rightly there. Whenever a tournament is within this part of the continent, these North African sides try to prove something, and they do very well too. The weather favors them. The atmosphere they create favors them because a lot of their fans travel. When I was on the train to Rabat yesterday from Casablanca, there were a lot of Egyptian fans I saw in Casa. And then even on the train, I could see them as well. They were very present. I believe they showed up here. If you look at the teams that have had their games with all the tickets sold out, there is Morocco, there is Algeria, Egypt is also in there. So they'll have a lot of their fans coming to support them. I'm taking them to also beat Zimbabwe in the game. So these are some of the things I'm looking forward to. And what do I think will happen? What will be my itinerary? I'll just step onto the streets of Rabat and do some 1 or 2 before, if I have to leave for another venue, I would too. So definitely there'll be a content plan, because yesterday I was with my guy and he was actually driving us through. And you see, oftentimes we mention these names of the North African players and we think we've done so well. So I asked him, what is the name of the Moroccan B team coach? Tarek Sekti, we say it that way. And he said something entirely different. So today I'm going to do a session with him. I said Tarek Sekti, and then he looked at me amazed and said, what did you say? I said Tarek Sekti. I said it proudly. I said, no, it's Tarek Sekti. I don't know. Okay. So today we are going to do that session.
Interesting. So today we'll get a tutorial on how to correctly pronounce names of Moroccan players and all of that. I'm looking for
exactly.
It. Sounds like fun. Michael, you have fun. Yvonne, what's your itinerary? And are you going to see any game today? If yes, which of the games are you going to see today? Okay, Yvonne has left us, I'm told. But guys, enjoy the rest of your day. All the best. And I'm sure we'll hear from you as the day goes on. Michael, thank you so much. Efsin, we'll catch you guys later.
All right, bye-bye.
Wonderful. So that was Yvonne Woyomi, Michael Asari-Bredu, and Enoch Fifi Forsin. We've got boots on the ground. They are the men on the ground, giving us, men and women on the ground, giving us wonderful coverage of the 2025 AFCON in Morocco. You can also send in your messages 054-257-1061, 054-257-1061. What did you make of the opening day of the AFCON? Did you watch Morocco play? What did you make of their performance? Were you pleased? Do they look like a threat? Do they look like a team that can go all the way and cause problems in the AFCON? Let me know what you think. Of course, the question of the morning still stands. What do you make of the change in the AFCON from 2 years to 4 years? Are you happy with it? I have split opinions, right? I have split opinions. Some people say it's a good idea. Some people say it's a bad idea. Some people don't care. Where do you stand? Are you in favor of the switch of the AFCON from 2 years to 4 years? If yes, why? If you are not in favor, also let me know why you think this is a good idea or it is not a good idea. 054-257-1061, 054-257-1061. This is the Sporty Breakfast, and we are live on Sporty 106.1 FM. As I said, the question of the morning, really, AFCON to be played every 4 years. What do you make of that decision? Several people have reacted. So some of the callers said they liked it. Other callers said they didn't like it. Some people were even wondering where all of this was coming from. Let's get to the line. Let's get to speak with our regional content lead, Gary Al Smith. He will give us great perspective to all of this, and then we can understand the mechanics, because some people still don't get the new timing and they don't quite understand anything concerning that big announcement that Patrice Motsepe made over the weekend. Gary, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you today?
Doing well, thank you. Good morning, Mr. Quao.
Wonderful, wonderful. Let's deal with the elephant in the room. The announcement took everybody by surprise. It caught everybody off guard. Did you get the hint that this was on the table, or it also caught you smack on the jaw as it did everybody?
Yeah, it did catch almost everybody I know by surprise, even though the signs have been there, and it seems that, as they say, as the Gen Zs like to say, the red flags have been coming for a couple of years now. As you may know by now or may not know, when the FIFA presidents make statements that seem ordinary or, out of the way or pedestrian at press conferences, they are never pedestrian. They are never ordinary. They are never to be taken for granted. That is to say, only in February, this year, February, right?
Mm-hmm.
He said something that he had repeated a couple of years ago. He said that the biennial AFCON, the AFCON that has happened for 68 years, every 2 years, mostly, is useless. He used that word, Nathan.
Wow. In that word,
said,
useless, the 7-letter word, useless.
Yes.
Okay.
He said it's a useless arrangement. And I'm pausing because I need people to sink in. Let it sink in. Now, when the president of the global regulator of football says this off script, it means that it is coming straight from his heart and soul. And if you have followed anything with this man called Gianni Infantino, you know that he does not make flippant statements.
Yes.
The one thing we know from when he was UEFA General Secretary is that he's an extremely conscientious guy. He's an extremely efficient man. You know, at that time, we didn't know he wanted to be FIFA president. We just knew that the guy who shows up at UEFA events, who conducts the draw, you know, all those things. When he comes, he's like a machine. Pa, 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 pa. Hey, the same thing. Then he says it in Italian. Then he says it in German. Then he says it in French. Then he says it in English. Like he doesn't even bat an eyelid. And everything he says is correct. People like that, you have to fear them. Because when they set their sights and eyes on something, unless it is done, they do not rest. So what has been the playbook? Now let me get to the heat of the matter. You see, when somebody dangles fish in front of you, and you keep eating the fish, and then at the end you realize that the guy was actually fattening you like a cow to eat you. That is what he has done to African football. All this time, we thought, oh, you know, they are helping us and helping us. Why do I say so? Have you noticed that since Patrice Motsepe became president and he became, as it were, cool with FIFA, the money has been pouring into African football in unprecedented amounts.
Yep.
Almost every other year, the prize money of one of our big competitions increases. It's either the CAF Champions League, the CAF Confederations Cup, the participation fee for World Cup participants, whether it's at under 17, under 20, or the Senior World Cup, has always increased. At the last World Cup, Ghana and all the other African countries that participated at the World Cup, remember, we got the biggest amount of money for participation we've ever had.
Yeah.
That allowed us to play very high quality friendlies and so on and so forth. This AFCON, on the eve of the AFCON, or just when it started, we were told that the prize money has been increased for the third time in a row. I need you to understand how serious this is. In the total history of African football, we have never gone, or the least we have gone before a price increase of AFCON is at least 10 years. At least it takes 10 years before they increase the prize money of AFCON. We have done it for the last 3 AFCONs back to back to back. Now somebody will ask, Gary, why are you complaining? Is it a bad thing? It's not a bad thing. But when you realize that the man has been playing chess with us, or FIFA have been playing chess with us, to increase the prize money, remember they did the African Football League too.
Yeah.
Unprecedented amount of money. I have just finished covering the Arab League.
Yes.
Nathan, do you know how much the Arab League is giving for prize money? Now, I said on the last show that the Arab League is basically a waffle tournament.
Yes, a regional competition.
The winner of the Arab League gets $7 million. Let us sink in.
$7 million. Wait, hold on. $7 million.
The winner of the Euros, the winner of the whole Euros gets $8 million.
Wow.
The whole Euros gets $8 million. Until 2 days ago, the winner of the whole AFCON gets $7 million. The winner of the Arab League, the FIFA Arab League, gets $7 million. The team that came second, Jordan, got $4 million. So, look, we are entering an arena where the guys are going to pump us full of so much money that now we have no choice than to do what they want. And that is where we are going. Now, some people will say that, but Gary, the AFCON, the 4 years is good. The 2 years, let me explain something to you. I'm going to send you something on WhatsApp for you to read in French. Written by the former sports editor of RFI.
Okay.
Who has been sports editor of RFI, and he has been seconded to Africa for more than the last 30 years. His verdict on why the AFCON going to 4 years may be the killer blow for African football. Now, what is the AFCON? The AFCON is not just a Cup of Nations tournament. for Africans, for African federations, it is a way to, one, regularly have world-class competitions for your national team, where you can force the European clubs through FIFA statutes to bring in your best players to play for the country. Agreed? Because every 2 years, the GFA, let's use the GFA, the GFA has the mandate to write to Mohamed Kudus's club, to write to Thomas Partey's club, and force them to bring our players, whether you like it or not. Because of FIFA rules, you have to bring our players, right?
Yes.
Every 2 years.
That's true.
Okay. What it means is that every 2 years, Ghanaians and countries of the other 53 teams can see their best players feature for them, whether the European clubs like it or not.
Yep.
Are we agreed on that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
2. So that is for the GFA and the FAs. 2. For media like you and me, it means then that every 2 years, if our teams participate at least in the AFCON, or assuming you are a broadcaster that can afford it, it means that every 2 years, you are at least guaranteed sponsorships. You are guaranteed that your reporters can go and cover a world-class tournament in Africa, and at least journalists in your media houses, this is for all Africans, can get world-class tournaments to cover, because in Africa, most media houses cannot afford to cover the World Cup. It means that every 2 years, African media houses are guaranteed a certain windfall. Because, for example, if Ghana had qualified, you can't be sure that President Mahama and his government would have felt enough pressure to have made sure that by hook or crook, somehow a Ghanaian TV station will show the AFCON. Are we agreed?
Yes. We are aligned on that.
It means then that that station will get sponsors, will make money, and then they will plow it in. That is a very unique African situation. The Europeans don't need that. Why don't they need that, Nathan? Because guess what? They have the richest club competition in the world. Not just the richest one. They have the richest number 1 and the richest number 2. That happens every year. So for them, not doing an AFCON every 2 years, it does not hurt them economically. That is why they can tell you, the African, that you should bring the AFCON every 4 years. But if you, the African, do not tell them how the biennial AFCON economically empowers you, and you do not show them, as Issa Hayatou did, and as the first and the second president of CAF did for the last 68 years, you will get to a place where, like now, FIFA will feed you and feed you and feed you, and in the end, tell you that I am the one giving you the money. So now, if you don't change, you see, like you get woman, where you take them, as the Gen Z say, you get Mukui girl. You've gotten a Mukui girl. Then you raise her level without taking her through the process. You met her at a beans joint. You don't even train her and bring her up. The next thing you know, you are flying her to Kumasi, Takrady, Zena Lodge, whatever. You do that for 1 year, 2 years. When you start calling the tune, 9 out of 10 times, because she has become so used to the lifestyle, what happens?
She wouldn't
cannot say no.
Yeah, she wouldn't. It's a matter of, if you ask her to jump, she won't ask you why. She's asking how high.
She'll ask you how high. And then, if you are a certain kind of guy, it turns into abuse. We have gotten into the abuse stage of the relationship. Watch it. So let me now answer your question after giving you the context. We have cancelled the 2-year AFCON. I have explained to you why, from the economic, I don't want to do any emotional argument. I'm just purely talking about figures, facts, and numbers and money. Okay? Now, every 2 years, how are governments and media and now the big thing as well, for 68 years, anytime an African country wants an excuse to increase its infrastructure, what does it do?
They say
it bids for an AFCON.
Yeah.
Please, and again, before listeners won't say that he's being emotional, every example I'll give, I will use our dear country, Ghana. Does any listener out there remember any uplift or facelift to our sporting infrastructure as big and as holistic as we got in 2008? The answer is no. In fact,
Sporty FM.
those who know that the past sports minister, that's Honorable Mustafa Yusuf, and the minister before him, the man from here, Isaac
Esiama.
Isaac Esiama, they tried their possible best. And I know this current sports minister is also doing the same now. They all tried, and they are all trying now. They have been trying to get us to host a big sporting event to coincide with Ghana's 70th anniversary. Why? Because that will be the biggest and last chance for us to facelift our sporting infrastructure, which are all decaying. Because you see, if you tell Ghanaians, if you tell Nigerians, if you tell Ethiopians, if you tell South Africans, if you tell Gabonese, if you tell Equatorial Guineans that, oh, we are going to host an AFCON, and you take X amount of money to Parliament for it to be ratified, nobody is going to talk, because everybody knows you need money, you don't want to embarrass yourselves. Yeah. So you need money to facelift your tournaments to meet that. So for 68 years, this has been the only way for African countries to get facelift to their infrastructure. Now, CAF is saying that it will be every 4 years. You know what is going to happen now? It means then that more and more African countries are not going to be able to get that opportunity to give facelift to their tournament. I went to Kenya for the CHAN.
Yeah.
All of them knew. You see, Uganda have just finished a $131 billion, 20,000 seater facility. Nathan, 20,000 seater facility. It should not cost $131 million. Everybody knows there's corruption involved.
Yeah.
But would they get the opportunity to do that if they were not going to host the Africa Cup of Nations in 2027?
Certainly
because
not.
of the AFCON they are hosting, Kenya have able to facelift the Kasarani Stadium and the Nyayo Stadium beside it. Uganda have been able to facelift their national stadium, the Mandela National Stadium. You get it? The examples are many and legion. This is why the AFCON for 2 years is important for us. So if some listeners are going to say, oh, and the clubs in Europe, please, are we playing the AFCON for the clubs in Europe or for ourselves? We have always said that we need African solutions to African problems. Now, CAF says that we are going to have an African Nations League. Guess what? This is my first question to you, Nathan. If even for the AFCON, which are official FIFA-sanctioned events, we are fighting European clubs to release our own players. So our own players. We are fighting them to release our own players. Do you think that European clubs, at a time when the European Champions League is more lucrative than ever, when the Premier League, La Liga, Ligue 1, and etc. are more lucrative than ever, do you think that they are going to be releasing players for the Nations League as regularly as we think they would? If even the AFCON, they are not doing it. Let me remind you, you see this AFCON we are playing, European clubs were supposed to release players how many days to time, boss? What is the rule?
About 2 weeks.
14 days.
14 days.
14 days. Please, tell me if I am wrong. How many days were they released? Mo Salah was released only on what was it called? On the 15th. Only on the 15th.
Yeah.
For a tournament that starts, Mo Salah's first game is at 8 p.m. today. He was released only 5 days ago.
And a few other players. So Man United duo of Mbeumo and Ahmad played on the 15th and they left. Aston Villa's Ingessan, for example, he was released yesterday after the game because they say in the situation he was a last-minute replacement. Man United are fighting the Moroccans because they insisted on taking Mazraoui away from them during the stipulated window. So yeah, you are absolutely right.
So I'm asking, look, the situation was so bad. You see the friendly Nigeria played with Egypt?
Yes.
The one that was played last week?
Yes.
In normal terms, that was supposed to be a high-profile friendly between two nations that have qualified for the AFCON. Guess what? Because CAF was unable to get FIFA to get the clubs to release the players 14 days to time, that match, which was officially supposed to be a friendly, was downgraded to what we call a scrimmage.
Yeah.
Now, for those who don't know, there are levels during the international break. If two countries are going to play, typically we call it an international friendly. But you can only call it an international friendly when both teams agree that they have enough of their best players for the match to be as competitive enough so that it can become an international friendly and points can be attached to it. Now, it is when you win that friendly that you get points that go into what? Your FIFA ranking.
Yeah.
Right? So, there are different levels. Yeah. The number of points are not the same as the number of points you get for a competitive match. You understand? Now, both Egypt and Nigeria, who are filled with Euro-based players, were unable to get so many of their top players that they downgraded that match from a friendly to a scrimmage. You know what that means? It means that match that was played that Egypt won was worthless.
Worthless.
In fact,
no value at all.
Yes, in fact, if you check the records, there were no points attached to that game. Can you imagine that? Egypt were going to play their AFCON game today. They did not have their best players to help them gel for 2 weeks. This is where we are going. And so, before anybody thinks, oh yeah, it means that Mohamed Kudus can play more for Spurs. Oh yeah. It means Mo Salah can concentrate on Liverpool. Oh yeah. It means Victor Osimhen can concentrate for, please. These are, you see, they say when you want to hide something from an African, what? Put it in a book. So
put it in the
there's a reason. You think FIFA, they are stupid. There's a reason they made the announcement and immediately followed it with the announcement that the prize money for the AFCON has been increased from $7 million to $10 million. Do you know what this means? It means that all of a sudden, the AFCON has become a more lucrative tournament than the Euros and even, I think, the Copa America. I'm checking the numbers now. But I think that for the continental tournaments, the AFCON suddenly has come to maybe about number 2 or number 3. Which is great. But what are the long-term implications for us?
Yeah.
When we start the African Nations League, they said the African Nations League will be every year.
Yes.
This is my question to FIFA.
According to
yes, and they say it
to the details,
yes,
September, October. So we'll be played in September, October, with the champions of each region meeting in November to decide an overall winner.
Mr. Nathan Quao, the clubs in Europe that you know, do you honestly think, knowing what you have seen of them in the last few years, they will be releasing their players for such a competitive tournament? Or when it gets to one game before the Nations League, you see that, hey, your star player suddenly says he's injured. Hey, they have substituted him at halftime. We know the tricks. This alone, some Ghanaian players, I don't want to mention names because I don't have court money. I don't have money to go to court. You and I know that some Ghanaian players did not show up for some games, not because of anything, but because they connived with their clubs. Because they didn't want to travel very far distances for the friendlies. We know. It happened with most of the African national teams. They didn't show up. Even some of the European national teams, it happened. The players said they were injured. They were not injured. It has been happening for as long as... So I'm saying, you see, before we start celebrating the change of the AFCON was good as a tool, as a biennial event for a very good reason for us Africans. So the only way I will be happy, Nathan, is if FIFA tells me that, okay, Gary, don't worry. I know you are worried about the infrastructure and stuff. We, FIFA, through the FIFA Forward program, are now going to work with governments to ensure that your countries get facelift. As for that one, I'll not have a problem. I don't have a problem at all. But then think about this as well. You, as a broadcaster, GTV, as a broadcaster, think about it too. The GTV cannot even pay for AFCON for us to watch.
Yeah.
Do you think that GTV will be able to get money to pay for an annual Nations League? Even the AFCON that is 2 years, GTV cannot find money to pay. So you see, immediately, from the business side of things, who is going to benefit from the African Nations League? Certainly not the broadcasters. So Ghana may qualify, but can Ghanaians watch it on national TV?
It's a tough
That's a question for the gods.
Yep.
Yes, the answer is no. Because the richer CAF becomes, and this is simple economics. As we speak, the AFCON is beyond the reach of many national broadcasters in Africa, because the better AFCON becomes, what? The more expensive it is. Isn't that the rule?
Yes.
That's the rule. Your former employer, CTFM, they said they couldn't broadcast the Premier League again because they said it in an official letter. I didn't say it.
Yeah.
The voice of sports.
They said they could not afford the price of the Premier League any longer, because the richer the Premier League becomes,
the more expensive
the rights. It's as simple as that. So if even now, you Ghanaians, you are not able to watch the AFCON on GTV, so you see, what may have happened was that Ghana may have qualified for this AFCON, but it is possible that due to our very peculiar national issues, financial issues, we may not have been able to watch the AFCON. And then now you insult the government. Meanwhile, do you know how much an AFCON costs now? People are asking why Sporty is not showing the AFCON. Without mentioning figures, the AFCON is now more expensive than the Euros and the Copa America combined. What are you talking about?
Wow.
For a 4-week tournament? But that is where we are. Please, you understand?
Yeah.
So when FIFA tells you that, or when CAF tells you that we are moving the AFCON to 4 years, these are the questions Kwame Nkrumah's Africans must be asking. Because you see what Morocco is doing and the kind of coverage Morocco has given us. With the greatest of respect to 90% of the African countries, into me, it's as simple as that. We can't do it. We cannot do it. The amount of money, Mr. Quao, you have gone to Morocco, you have seen it, so please tell them. The magic Morocco is doing. Look, Morocco have spent a total of $16 billion. Boss, now Ghana GDP cries. Ghana GDP cries. You see, Morocco are ruled by a monarchy, right?
Yes, they are.
I've also just been in Qatar. They are also ruled by a monarchy. Saudi Arabia are ruled by a monarchy. What monarchies can do, democracies like us, we call our own Kebinamin Kebi. By the time we will do Kebinamin Kebi, 5 years has gone.
In the context of monarchy, they can do whatever they want at any time, because one man
can do it in 1 second.
One man's voice is law.
So we
and
cannot
that's it.
Thank you. We cannot compete. We cannot compete with them. Look, Morocco, let me just give listeners a perspective again. The thing Morocco are doing right now, even most European countries cannot do it. Just to give an example, Morocco are broadcasting the AFCON from field to satellite directly. What do I mean by that? For the last 40 years, anytime you watch AFCON in your home, this is how it works. If the AFCON is being hosted in Ghana, the broadcaster shoots the pictures from the Accra Sports Stadium or Kumasi Stadium, right? Or Isipon or Tamale. The feed goes into the sky, into a satellite. The feed comes down to Paris. Then it is sent to DSTV in South Africa. before it comes to your decoder. If you are paying for the rights, it is the feed, the picture is beamed from Accra or Kumasi or Tamale or Isipong, goes into the sky into a satellite, comes down to Paris, then comes down into your home. What Morocco are doing is that the match we saw yesterday from Rabat, it was shot in Rabat. It goes into the sky and comes down directly into your home. Do you know how much money that costs?
Sporty FM, the voice of sport.
A simple example is, because we Africans don't have money, we take Uber from Sporty FM. Meanwhile, maybe your house is at airport, but because you don't have money, your boss's driver will pick you at Sporty FM and go and drop your boss at Oyarifa, and bring you from Oyarifa to airport. Then maybe you pay 20 Ghana cedis, right?
Yeah.
But the driver says, if you want to go straight from Sporty FM to the airport, you pay 60 cedis. That is what Morocco have done. They have paid 60 cedis themselves. And I'm telling you that for 40 years, Africa has not been able to do that. But Morocco have done it. How many African countries will do that? Very, very few.
Yeah.
So please, before anybody watches this AFCON and thinks that, oh, no, please, Morocco are like the rich kid in the class. They are not your classmates. So just to explain and finish my explanation, the AFCON has moved from 2 years to 4 years. Now, CAF says that in 2028, we are going to have the AFCON. In 2027, we are going to have the last of the 2-year AFCONs to be hosted in Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, right?
Yeah.
So that will be done. Then in 2028, at a venue to be confirmed or for us to be told, we are going to host the AFCON again to begin the 4-year cycle of hosting the tournament. Then after that, we'll have 2032, 2036, 2040, and so on. Now, in order for Africans to see their national teams more, we are going to have something like the UEFA Nations League.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we are going to play that one every year between September. So you remember, right before the playoffs, FIFA announced that they were going to have a new window.
Yeah.
September, October, November. You remember?
Yeah, I remember that.
Do you now see why I told you that this has been Gianni Infantino's plan? There has been a master plan for so long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because the new window now is expanded. So instead of 1 week, there are 2 full weeks of international games.
Thank you. It means then that broadcasters will now get a chance to make more money, and FIFA will now make more money.
Yeah.
But the question is, the African Nations League now, Sporty FM, GTV, TV3, Peace FM, Wood to Me TV. How many of us can pay for our journalists to go and cover the Nations League? That's the question.
Yeah.
Because by the time you are going to fly yourself from Accra to wherever it is going to be played, your boss will tell you that Miniska, Masa, it's not baby. That is the problem. Meanwhile, Europeans will book a ticket and it's only $50, £50, 50 euros, 100 euros.
Yeah.
So please, as Keche said in the song, don't compare Trasako to Zongo.
Yeah,
we should not compare ourselves to Europeans, because the African Nations League, it may look good on paper, but it has massive business implications for everybody, including the fans. Because you see, for the fans who sit at home and think that it does not matter to you, let me explain. If you have a TV viewing center, let's say you live in Tema, and you have a game center, and you show matches on DSTV, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It means then that if DSTV is unable to afford the rights to the Nations League, immediately you will not get money.
Yeah.
The voice of sport.
Because Ghanaians want to watch the Black Stars. Nigerians want to watch the Super Eagles. So if they cannot have access to the games and you, the guy in the viewing center, you cannot watch those matches, how are you going to make your money? If you are a corporate entity, let's say you are a bank, let's say you are called ABC Bank, the Black Stars are going to play the Nations League. You've seen that is lucrative, but no TV station in Ghana is able to afford it.
Yeah.
How can you partner a station like Sporty FM or Joy FM or TV3 to have a viewing party, be able to watch that match, get mileage on your product, and make money for yourself? So you see where we are losing.
Yep, that's true.
These are the questions that we Africans we are going to ask. So this decision, I have just proven in the last 20 minutes or so why it benefits Europe more than it benefits us. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Gary, thank you so much for this. Quite deep. We'll keep the conversation going and we'll catch up with you later. Have a good day and stay safe. All right, that was regional team lead Gary Smith giving us a deep explainer, giving us details on the implications of this 4-year switch concerning the AFCON. You have to think deeply to understand what's happening. All right, 10 minutes to 10. Let's wrap it up with some boxing. And over the weekend, there was the Legacy Rise, the showdown. There was that boxing event at the University of Ghana Stadium. Oh, it was wonderful. It was wonderful. Of course, all the talk's been about Jonathan Tete and Sejima, Freezy McBones. But our very good friend Theophilus Pakbralote was in the ring. And he picked up yet another belt. He became the new the WBO Global Super Flyweight Champion. And because he's our very good friend, Theophilus has joined us with his coach, Oforiasari. Gentlemen, good morning. How are we doing?
Good morning.
Wonderful. Champ, congrats once again.
Thank you.
Coach, congrats to you.
Thank you.
Every time you come here, you bring a new belt.
Yeah.
So how many do we have now?
We have 4.
4 now. I can see only 3. I see 3 on. Oh, okay. There are two on the other side. Yeah. Wonderful. Champ, good morning once again. How was it? Take us back to Saturday night. How was it for you in the ring?
Okay, firstly, I would like to thank my promoters, Legacy Rise Sports and his team, and my management team, my coaches, and also I'm grateful to all amazing brands who support me during training camp. GTS, Drilling Company Limited, Fraqua Bottle, Unapologetic, and Charles and Poros at the Bukon Boxing Arena.
Wonderful.
And also Mom Hills Mineral Water. Thanks to them. Yeah, like I said, on Saturday, that was last week. So it was very amazing and excitement day. So far as I have my coach by my side always, which is Dr. Oforiasari, was very great because we prepare a lot for this fight.
Good. I mean, you went to the distance. How was it for you? Were you aiming for the knockout, or for you were fine with going the distance?
I mean, I'm not aiming for knockout. I'm aiming for victory because I prepare for 12 rounds. I didn't prepare for 6 rounds or 7 rounds because we are going for 12 rounds. So I have to prepare for 12 rounds. So, like I always said, I'm prepared for 12 rounds, but if the knockout comes itself, I'll deliver it. So I prepare for 12 rounds, so I was very good, and I enjoyed my fight that I fought on Saturday.
Good. Coach, how was it for you outside the ring, watching everything, guiding Theophilus through it? What did you make of his performance?
Yeah, we prepare for it, and within 16 months, we've been able to come out with 4 title bets.
Wow, 16 months. Yeah. So that was every title averagely every 4 months.
Yeah, and you can see that we are working very much. Sometimes you see the win in the ring, but it doesn't happen just like that. We've worked for it for a long time, and we win our fight not in the ring. We win our fight during the preparation time. So it was a very hard way because we were fighting a very good boxer.
Okay.
Who is ranked in the Ring Magazine number 10. He is ranked in WBC number 5. He's ranked in IBF number 5. And also WBO as well, number 13. He is a southpaw, which technically fighting the southpaw is a very tricky way. So we work behind the scene, we prepare for it, and things happen. Our manager also work alongside for us before the promoter also.
Okay.
So it's not just what happened in the ring. So many things has gone on under the scene, and that is what you saw there. Theophilus, we are aiming to go for the world title, and we want it as early as possible.
Okay.
Because he is now the youngest among, when you look at the rankings, he's the youngest there, and this is the time for him to make it. When we accept fighting this Filipino opponent, many people were doubting because he is a good boxer, beating the Mexicans, beating everybody around, and it's like, why are you going to fight him? But why can't we fight him if we want to be world champion?
Of course. If you want to be the champion, you have to take on some of these guys.
Yeah. So it was a challenge. A lot of friends, people were talking to me that it's too early for that. But I told them, we want to fight Jesse Rodriguez, the champion. And so we are not going to wait, and we don't know what will happen tomorrow. So this is the time, and we want it now. And so we are saying that Theophilus is ready, and he is ready to take on any boxer in the world now.
Wonderful. Theophilus, how was it like for you? The president was there, sports minister was there, Azuma Nelson was there. How was it like for you fighting in front of these very important people?
I was feeling excited because I was wishing if I have a world title shot, all of them will be there to support me, because my president was sitting there watching me fighting over there. Because not everybody can get this opportunity to, your president come and watch you fighting or performing something, and the president will come there. So I'm very excited. I'm glad to see the president and other people over there. And I'm praying that the same thing when I'm having my world title shot, I'm praying so that the president will be there so that I can get the vim. Because if my fans are not there, my coaches are there, and the whole president is also there. So because everyone is looking up to the president, so if I see the president over there, I'm very glad, because I'm seeing that all Ghanaians too are over there.
Yeah, that's good. Coach, how in terms of timelines, when are you looking at getting this title shot? Now that Theophilus is WBO Global Super Flyweight Champion, you said the ultimate is the title, but between now and then, are there any timelines? Is it 6 months, 1 year? What are you looking at?
Yeah, we medically, we will take some few days rest, and then we bounce back to training because we mean business, and we are not going to sit down. So, like I said, we are not going to look for chance to happen to us. We are going to create the chance. And as a global champion, it's next to a world title. And so winning the global title is a signal to all those who are having or in line for this title that we are ready for anybody. So we will accept any champion calling us on board. And that is the main reason why after some few days rest, we bounce back to training and make it happen. We believe in our promoters. We believe in everyone around us who is working behind the scene, that it is not like you get there and now that you say, yeah, sorry, you are not fit and all those kind of things. We are ready, and we will maintain how ready we are till the last moment.
Wonderful. Theophilus, as we wrap up, 2025 is ending, but what has been your favorite part of 2025? What's like your best moment in 2025?
My best moment for winning the WBO Global to finish the year. Because I can say this year I've won 3 bets. The UBO Africa was the first, and the WBO Africa was the second, and the WBO Global was the third. So this year I've earned it very well. And also I'd like to thank the Emmy Africa Award.
Yes, you were African Sportsman of the Year.
Yeah, I want to thank them for recognizing me to give me that award. Yeah. So big thanks to them. And also big thanks to all Ghanaians, those who have been supporting me. And also they should keep on supporting, keep on praying for us. And definitely we're going to win the world title for them.
Wonderful.
Absolutely. I'm very excited, but just a little bit excited because this is not what I'm looking for. I'm aiming for the world title shot. And also I always pray that, and I always tell myself, my coach have achieved everything in boxing, but he left with one thing for him to achieve, and I will be the one to achieve, which is the world title.
I like that. Yeah. I like that. I like the determination and confidence. Coach, just final words, 2026, what are the things you are looking for? You say the ultimate is the world champ, but what are some of the things, what's your plan looking like for 2026?
Well, like I said, winning the world title is the ultimate. But we are going to prepare. Maybe if it happens that we have to fight for anything else, like something that will push us or something that will not make us feel lazy or something, we will take it and then keep on going. But we will look up and make sure that any moment from now, if there is opportunity for us, we are going to take it to quench the thirst of Ghanaians in terms of a world title. Now Ghana has a whole lot of world titles, but recently we don't have any, and that is one thing, because it is like, if no matter the noise the people will be making around, you must ask them, where is the title, the world title, where is it? Now we don't have some in the system now, and Theophilus is going to be ranked next time in the next level, because he will be at least in the first five in the world. And so this means that he can fight anytime. And so we are ready. We don't wait for the time. We are going to prepare for the time.
Wonderful. Coach Ofori-Asare, thank you so much for passing through. Congrats, and Theophilus Patriality, congrats. You just won the WBO Global Super Flyweight Champion. The next big one is the world title, and hopefully that should happen. And when it happens, we'll bring you here to talk about
for that one.
to talk about that. Wonderful. Theo, congrats once again. Merry Christmas in advance.
Thank
Coach,
you.
Congrats. Merry Christmas in advance.
Thank you, and same as well.
All right. Wonderful. All right. That's how I wrap it up this morning on the Sporty Breakfast. My name is Nathan Quao. Thank you so much to everybody who tuned in. Thank you to my production team, Immortal, Angela, Abigail, Emmanuel Ayamga, Fly, my DJ Fidelis. We are back tomorrow with a lot more on the Sporty Breakfast. Keep your dials locked on Sporty FM. There's Total English Football coming up next. We have the news at midday, Sporty Plug 12:30, Sporty Drive at 4, Monday Night Sporty. Remember, the AFCON is on. We'll keep you updated all the way through. Wonderful times ahead. Enjoy your day. My name is Nathan Kwame. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you later.